Okay, so in conclusion, let's just say that you learn to control your emotions. It could be with, a friend of mine does it by running. Not much of a runner myself anymore. That's one of my disabilities is, back and knee. Hiking I can do. Got my boots, got my hiking pants, got a trail. Part of the reason I bought the house that I bought, we have our own trailhead with bike trails. But then this creek, I was walking on the creek, and then it's got these nice trails, and that's huge. Getting back to nature, getting out of that basement apartment you're in, or wherever you're at, buddy. Ooh, I just see a big old fat deer running away. But learning to control those emotions, the TM, you can't really call it TM, mantra meditation. You could just learn online. Some of those guys are, they're jackasses, let's face it. Just find a word that you want to use, or a phrase. I like the kind of Sanskrit words that I don't know what they mean. Just try to find something random. Find random Sanskrit word generator, or just random, it's all on YouTube. Random dwarven name, random elven name, random something that maybe if you don't know what it means, that way your brain doesn't focus on it. Or numbers. You can use numbers. I recommend don't use the number 6, because a lot of negative connotations with that anyway, saying that over and over. But also, like, if somebody, I own a house and I live alone, so it isn't going to happen. But like, I've been caught meditating at work, and I used to say the mantra. After a while, you don't have to say it, and it just you say it and you get that same coherent thought. One of my hypotheses is by saying it, you're vibrating the bottom of your mouth, which affects your pineal gland, which you should read about the pineal gland, which is another reason not to drink a lot. Alcohol calcifies the pineal gland. But the pineal gland releases all sorts of interesting little chemicals you can read about. That one of them, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But is what you shouldn't do is use the number 6 as your mantra. Because, and I joked about this with an Army guy and an Air Force guy that I work with, a couple GS-11s. And when I was trying to teach them how to meditate, and I was like, yeah, don't use 6, because if you would have caught me meditating and I'm going 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, I mean, they had to probably call the police. Oh my God, we have a Satan weirdo freak jackass. Get rid of him. Get out of here. So don't do that. I wish I made that joke up. I didn't. I have to give that one to, who's the bass player for Motley Crue? He has a radio show that I listen to occasionally, and plays some good music. I'm not even much into like hair metal. I like his personality, and I like the music. They play there's some good metal that I wouldn't classify as like hair metal. It's just, metal, and they don't glam it up too much. But yeah, learn to do that. Learn to control your emotions. Find your own mantra. It could be anything. Have a buddy find something for you. Tell them, don't make it too personal. Make it random and weird. Tree branch. What does that mean? Nothing, right? Over and over and over. Do it, right? And what you're doing is you're getting that neuroplasticity work in there. Brain can change, right? The neurons in your brain, like a muscle. It's not a muscle, it's a brain. It's fat nerves. But is what you're doing by repeating that mantra is you're getting those nerves to reform in a new way. It only took me 2 weeks, and everyone noticed I was different. And that neuroplasticity that we all have, you're training yourself to not react to emotion as much. Ironically and weirdly, I also seem to have greater access to emotion. Now, I'm a creative professional, so like when I write, or I put on some, I play music, but mostly I'm an artist and a filmmaker. I guess I'm a little annoying because I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm not going to apologize for that either. That's just how it is, some people. But my first job with the government, I was a camera guy and editor and whatnot, audiovisual production specialist. Now I'm what's called a visual information specialist. The shorthand for that's graphic artist, but specifically they hired me because I'm a good freehand artist. I used to want to be a comic book artist, and I used to draw these portfolios, and maybe that has a little bit to do with my mental makeup too, is I allowed myself to be criticized. And I was into some meditation back then, but not the mantra meditation, because I would get angry, and I burned a lot of relationships. I burned a lot of jobs with that anger. I'm sure a lot of you understand that. Part of the reason I got Voc Rehab was you give them your social security number, which is not a scam. They're the government, right? And they find your job history with your social. And I had by the time I got Voc Rehab, I had like 50 jobs, and none of them for more than, I bet a lot of Marines out there are like it. A buddy of mine's just like it, and he's doing really well now. Working for himself. The guy's a go-getter, man. He sells houses and refurbishes houses, and he's more successful than I am in business. But he also realizes, wow, Tony, you're like this creative, guy, and you do all this stuff and come up with crazy names. Like, it's just part of, that's the thing also about the personality test or battery, the Myers-Briggs personality battery. Take that to figure out how best to maximize your mental makeup. Also, the strengths quest, hard to say, plural, strength, plural, quest. Cactus, look at that. But the key in learning how to control your emotions and how to maximize who you are and not be so angry all the time is learning about, what you are. The other thing that I think is interesting about learning meditation, the mantra meditation is mantra. Say mantra like some kind of guru guy. Sounds lame. But, the first time I went to college on the GI Bill, I graduated with a 2.2 GPA. All right. Way below my capabilities. With the new and improved Marine using the mantra meditation, I got a 3.57 GPA after going through the Voc Rehab. So, and by the way, 357, it's like a caliber. It sounds cool. So I was happy that that's where things ended up. And I probably could have done better, but I probably could have got a 4 if I really would have dug into it. But once I realized I could kind of skate and get by and have a 3, above 3.0 average, above 3.5, I did. I goofed off a little bit. And that's another thing you'll learn too is how willing you're to push things, and you kind of gauge your level of performance better when the mantra meditation just makes you more logical and like like Mr. Spock, you know, even though I know I'm nothing like a Vulcan. I'm totally a human, but it does, that neuroplasticity makes you analyze, or at least control your emotions better, in a way that when I first started doing it, you know, I'm coming up on 12 years in September, that everyone was like, wow, you're different. And then I went through a period where I kind of didn't know who I was, and now I'm back to who I was, except now I'm in control. And especially being an artist, I know you've heard stories of how crazy and self-destructive a lot of artists can be, which is probably why a lot of them fail, or they're coddled, you know, like Michael Bay makes those big expensive movies, and if you're in the film world, you find out, well, the reason his movies are so expensive is people triple charge him to, you know, be like dolly grip or camera guy or, you know, gaffer or whatever, because he's a nightmare to work with. He yells at everybody. He's horrible. You know, I doubt I'm ever going to work in, at least at that level. I worked in all these independent films, and still there, you're dealing with, you know, egos and out of control, bratty people that don't, you know, especially being a Marine, they don't know anything about being just, you know, there's a couple veterans here or there, but still, that's the key, man. When you're a Marine, the thing that's going to bother you the most about being a civilian is a lot of other people are just going to seem to be unsat. Okay? That's just how it is. And you got to learn to deal with it. You know, when I worked with the Army, a lot of those people were really unsat. And like I said, they had that pay it forward mentality. And they probably, it's like some part of a spine or something there. They probably gave it to me even worse, because some Army people just really hate Marines for some reason. I don't know why. When I was in, we supported Army Rangers, 82nd Airborne, 101st Airborne. And so I have a very healthy respect for the Army, and they had very healthy respect for the Marines. But some of them, you know, most of these guys were field combat camera guys. That's what the MOS was. And I guess they felt like they had to be really awful to me. Now I work with Air Force, and they're all aviators, and cool as cucumbers, totally professional, really awesome people to work with. And you know, they realize with me, they have a fire and forget weapon. Like, they told me what to do and I'm doing it. And I don't even go in. I telework now. It's they gave me a really powerful computer and a Wacom tablet, and you know, and I'm drawing, you know, and I'll be dead honest too. If I had not been doing meditation and learned how to control my emotions, I wouldn't have got through a year and a half out there at Fort Sam working with the Army, and I wouldn't have been able to get this job here with the Air Force. So you want to change your life, you want to maximize yourself as a Marine, step up to the plate, learn this, Marines. It's a skill as much as snapping in is a skill for being able to perform on the range. I know we all hate snapping in, but you cannot deny that the Marine Corps method of marksmanship teaches you how to be a badass rifleman. I mean, unless you're pizza box, I mean, come on. Squeeze the trigger, Marine, don't pull it. So maybe that's maybe, dude, Tony, maybe you're angry because you're a pizza box, man. I hope you're not. I better not find out you're a pizza box. And I know you're gonna make a video all angry at me and showing me your expert badge, 4th award or whatever, but which, as I am. But I really want to see all you Marines succeed, step up to the plate, and don't limit. You know, there's no honor in living in a basement, drinking beer, and being, you know, mediocre. I mean, I'm mediocre now. I have a middle class neighborhood house and I have a middle-class job, and I'm doing well. It's nice to succeed. But I'm not limiting myself from being ultra successful. Brian Reece is probably pulling in a pretty fat amount of money. All right, kind of like one of those YouTube stars kind of level of money. And part of what I was picking up from Tony's complaint about him is he seems like angry that somebody is successful and that he's living in a box with no windows. So it's your duty, and well, not your duty, but it is your right as an American to be successful. And it's not like you can't achieve it. You can achieve it. All right. Learning to control your emotions, honing the best of what you are, mechanic, business guy, artist, and doctor, whatever you're going to be that. And you're going to be that as a Marine. You'll never stop being a Marine. But you can use those experiences to maximize who you are as a human being. And I've dated supermodels. Who gets, all right? So who thought they could ever do that? I've been lucky in that regard. But is what I didn't do was question myself about doing that. I did that, and it happened. So if you're able to give yourself permission to allow your imagination to hone your goals, and make a vision board. If you're not good at Photoshop or like the GIMP is free Photoshop, if you're not good at that, cut pictures out of a magazine and you make a vision board of your goals, right? And you hone that, you focus on that, and you don't want to really share it with other people. It's your thing. It's your visual mantra, if you will, and you work towards that goal. But I'm sorry, complaining about Brian Reece, I got to stop you, buddy. It's not working for me. You're not helping other veterans. You're not helping. And here's the thing, you can learn it on your own. There's people that do. And I'm not saying that Brian didn't have people that worked for him that weren't scumbags. Because I experienced that. But you're going after him as if, think about what he's trying to manage there. That's individuals dealing with other vets. And each one of those vet coaches is probably dealing with a lot of different vets. Hence they got this Calendly thing where you have to make an appointment now to talk to your guy. So it does get a little impersonal, but that's a hard thing to manage, people that deal with other people. So you're gonna have some scumbags that get through the filter. And that's what happened to you. And I'm sorry that happened to you, but bad-mouthing Brian as a whole, when I'm at 90 and I'm doing well with him, and I got another meeting with my coach on Monday on another way to get to 100. So just figure out that what happened to you doesn't necessarily apply to all Marines, and that flash anger that you displayed clearly demonstrates something's going on there, buddy. And then with the alcohol, who makes a video with a beer in their hand complaining about stuff, right? So there's something going on there that's pretty apparent to me, and I hope that you're able to fix that and better yourself. And I know I sound really shitty and judgmental coming for the band, but man, I've been there and I know. So anyway, improvise, overcoming, or doubt, Marines. I know you newer Marines say, overcome, improvise, and adapt, or say it backwards. What we say IOA, you say AOI, whatever. It's like the whisper game.